the goalie interference conversation was a big one. And again, trying to put myself in the moment of like the Oilers coaching staff here, live, I was like, that's goalie interference. And I see the way Stuart Skinner reacts. I'm like, okay, it's probably goalie interference. They show one replay in the arena, and I was like, you challenge that. You 100% challenge that. I thought from Bennett's perspective, that was the most accidentally on purpose fall. Like,
oh yeah,
he's, if anything, like he barely gets touched. Like Kulak clips him a little bit, I guess, but like he goes down like a sack of potatoes right into Skinner. Goal goes. Like I liked the challenge. We'll talk about the results, but yeah, I like
when they show the overhead here. Watch his left elbow. He puts his left elbow back. Watching that, you can't see it as much from this angle. When they go back to the overhead angle, he knows exactly what he's doing. That's why he's a great player. But watch him go back here, left elbow, boom.
Oh yeah, you're right. Just
so you don't think he knew where he was going and going into the goalie? And what does his left elbow do? His left elbow is what spins Stuart Skinner. Now, obviously, there would have been contact regardless.
Yeah.
But he elbows his right knee and spins it. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Also, I love how he gets credit for this goal too, because it bounced.
It goes
off
off the skate. Yes, yes. But okay, so I love Knoblauch saying, I challenge that today, tomorrow, every single day. I do it again, and he should do it again because that's the wrong call. I don't care. The more you watch it, especially that overhead, yes, he clips Kulak's skate, but the reason he backs up, and again, he's not trying to do anything except that he's a very smart player and he's extremely good around the net. So when he accidentally clips Kulak's skate here, Kulak's not trying to engage him. He accidentally clips the skate. Now he's falling down for real. He's going to go down, but he knows. He's like, okay, I'm going down now. Now I'm going to purposely continue to go. He takes almost like a crossover to make sure he gets all the way there. And then he's got the elbow in there as well. So again, props to Sam Bennett. This is his job. This is why he's great around the front of the net, why he's annoying. But watching this over, I don't understand how this is not goalie interference because Kulak does not engage him. Walman doesn't engage him. He's sort of, but he doesn't push him or anything. And so he trips over Kulak's skate that was already there. So that's not interference. It's not tripping. He brings himself into Kulak, then goes back into the goalie, then throws an elbow. I just don't understand how you can watch this. Again, if Walman shoved him or if Kulak did some sort of move to trip him, you could maybe argue that, but it's just it's incidental contact on the skates that make him fall down, and it's quite obvious that he purposely then takes his momentum right here into Skinner. I just don't understand how in Toronto they can watch that replay and be like that the Oilers made him go into Stuart Skinner.
And the other thing that, at least in the moment, that review was one of the fastest reviews.
Well, that's the other thing that's crazy.
And I'm like, this one's coming back. They watched it twice.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm like, oh, it's no goal for sure. They barely even looked at it. It's auto no goal. And I don't know. I've never, listen, I can go on forever about the review process in Toronto. I feel like somebody needs to have to stand up in front of a camera and explain why. Yeah. Why was that a goal?
Do you think as a player, like the officials on the ice should also have something to do with it?
Now, yes, like that was my argument as well when they first brought the challenge in, especially the first couple years because they're constantly talking, trying to get things better and change things or whatever. And I'm like, the problem with now, I used to actually get pretty good calls, goalie interference calls waved off before there was review. And I'm like, the refs did a good job because they were watching for it. And, there were some really good waved off goals that were goalie interference because they had to watch for it. And I'm like, now you brought in the review. Now they don't even watch for it. I haven't had one no goal goalie interference call because they're just like, oh, just challenge it.
Right.
Well, the problem with challenging it is that you now have to overturn the call on the ice. So if it's 50-50, it's going to be a goal. So I'm like, you need the referees to still make calls on the ice. Now, in this situation, if you're the referee, I could easily see why you wouldn't, because it looks like Bennett is tied up with the guys in front. It looks in live speed. And if you're in the corner, it probably looks like Walman maybe throws him back because there's two guys there. So I understand the no call on the ice and being sure on that one as well. I just don't understand how that goes to Toronto and so quickly they're like, yeah, it's a goal.
I think a big problem with it too is they have to be so by the rule book. Like there can be no swaying of like, well, it's clear that Bennett threw himself into it. They're just going to look at it and be like, oh, well, there was contact. Yeah. And then he fell. Like there was one earlier in the year where Corey Perry stood at the top of the crease and Dan Vladar comes up, touches him. You know the score. It's a no goal.
Right.
Like reviewed. And it's just like, they're so different.
Yeah.
And that's the ongoing issue with the review, right? Yeah. There's no consistency with it. And there are rules in the book, but they don't, You know, it's somebody is watching that and making a decision on what they think, and it is a group of people. But I think that they should have to come out and say why.
Yeah.
And that would, one, it would help the people understand why, and also it holds them a little bit accountable. You got to come out there and make a statement as to why that was a goal, and then you're going to get ridiculed if your statement doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
because the other thing too is the NHL already does that with player safety.
Exactly.
A player gets suspended. George Peros comes out and he does a video and says he did this and this, and this is why he's suspended for a game.
But they don't want to apply that to any other facet of the game.
And it's like, well, you can actually respect the decision from Peros once you hear what he has to say.
Yeah,
you might not like it, but
yes.
you know what he means at least.
Yeah.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.